Are you feeling lucky? You should. You found this video. Let's talk about luck, what it is, where it comes from, and what you can do to get more of it. Welcome back to Sweet Infinity. My name is Kieran. Today I'll be reading from the Tarot of Mystical Moments deck by Katrine Wellstein. If you would like to purchase this deck, I'm going to leave you some links in the description below where you can purchase it. This is a gorgeous deck. Probably my top 5 favorites. The artwork is just so stunning, unforgettable, surrealist, sort of Victorian, but also modern, and just so cool. And then the cards themselves are just such a joy. They have silver foil on the edges. They're a little bit big, but I don't mind. They're just a pleasure to work with. So while I shuffle, please remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a note and let me know what you're up to these days. If you're also looking for one-on-one readings, I am open to those as well. You can check out the description below and join me on my Patreon for those. Let's see what the cards have to say today. I've always been fascinated by dice. I have this set, and I just find it fascinating, the idea of randomness and chance. And I use them sometimes in my writing to come up with ideas. Maybe I'll go into that in another video. And the 4-leaf clover is a symbol of good luck. Good luck and chance are also connected. So today, let's talk about chance and luck. In what ways are you lucky, or about to get lucky, or have been lucky? What is your relationship with luck? And what can you do to improve it? 10 of Cups. Let's pick one more card. 4 of Pentacles. On some level, what I'm seeing is that you come from a family or a background that's relatively stable. You were given a good amount of support, more than a lot of people get growing up. And yet, as you got older, you realize that while that might have been nice and idyllic from the inside, from the outside, it felt a bit closed off. That maybe, even while you were being nurtured and protected, there was a sense of resentment that was brewing in some people around you, maybe in some extended family members or neighbors or other people. Maybe you didn't even realize that until you got a little older and you saw your house, your world from the outside. And it was a nice, serene place for you. So maybe it took you a while to reconcile how that works. Or maybe it didn't take you too long. You were able to empathize with those less fortunate than you. And then there's the devil. The devil is about addiction and temptation and keeping yourself tethered to things that are not good for you. And what I'm seeing is that there might have been times in your life where, because of the way that you were raised, you might have found yourself entrapped, assuming that you were going to get lucky and get out of that path, get out of trouble just by sheer luck. But that world was not just made with luck. It was made with work and sacrifice and compromise by those who came before you. Maybe there was a time when you didn't realize that, and so you kept getting involved. Maybe it's still going on some level, and maybe you didn't always appreciate what you had back then. Or it felt unfair to you on some level. So you have to resolve these issues. Maybe those who raised you loved you, took care of you, but maybe they weren't very generous with others, and there was some resentment. And in order to make up for that, you maybe have gone down some paths that were not very healthy for you. Maybe you don't believe in luck now. 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is about fantasy, living in a fantasy world, a world that is disconnected from the consensual reality that we all kind of share. So basically daydreaming, being lost in your head all the time. Let's keep going. I want to get a better picture. 8 of Wands. You've been rushing through life. You didn't want to test your luck too much. Maybe on some level you thought that you were lucky to be born in the environment you were born in, or the way that you were born with the privileges that you had. And you haven't really deeply sat down and thought about what that means. You've been maybe lost in a lot of fictional or illusion, or maybe some kind of escapist forms of self-therapy or self-harm. Some kind of drugs, alcohol might be involved. And then now you're feeling like time is running out. This is the card of rushing. So on some level, you haven't really reconciled with this part of your background. And that's why you're feeling rushed and wanting to escape, or wanting to just not think about it on some level. And yet you're feeling this time pressure. New things are coming in and you want to incorporate those in your life and you want to have a positive relationship, but you need to first go back to where you started and at least emotionally process what that was all about. So how can you do that? What was that all about? 9 of Swords and the High Priestess both came up. The 9 of Swords is a very disturbing card in this deck. And this is about insomnia and anxiety. This is about being self-conscious and feeling this constant sense of being watched, being under surveillance. The High Priestess, this could be somebody who was a very imposing figure in your life. And if you notice, she's hiding behind these curtains, and that in relation within the context of this card pairing could mean somebody who didn't give you the privacy that you deserved, or for whom maybe a parent you were looking out for more than you needed to, who gave you too much responsibility for your young shoulders. Could be your mother or father, maybe an elder sibling, but somebody who relied on you more than you were able to help them with. And you felt constantly having to look out for them, and constantly maybe even being watched, not having privacy. Maybe they went through your things, or you couldn't separate yourself from them. You weren't allowed to have your own life. So while things were nice and serene and comfortable, at the same time, this was happening. And that's very jarring for somebody to grow up that way. And of course, eventually, once you come out of this situation, you end up wanting your privacy and you want to indulge in all the things, and you don't want to be bothered with thinking because, well, you've never really had that freedom to just be yourself, right? And so on some level, you're not even sure what luck is about because you're just so busy trying to make up for the lost time. What is luck about for you? 7 of Wands. Boundaries. You want to prove that you are your own person. So this person has tattoos because they own their skin. Nobody else owns it. This person is behind these bars, but they're breaking through them because they can, because nobody will keep them back, right? This person has a sense of self-reliance and an identity, and that they've had to forge that probably because they weren't allowed those boundaries back then, right? This is somebody who stepped on your boundaries maybe, or it didn't have to be one person. It could have been a whole family or system or community or whatever that didn't allow you to cultivate those parts of you that you needed, and didn't even give you the space and time to process your emotions well enough. So you, as a result, got into, drugs, alcohol, other things, some kind of escapist fantasy world or lifestyle. And the first step for you to get in touch with your luck is to draw your boundaries for yourself, for your body, for your time. Who gets to have access to you? And that involves drawing boundaries for yourself. That involves having discipline for yourself. That involves getting up a little bit earlier from whenever you get up and going to work out first thing in the morning or whenever you get up. That involves eating a healthy diet. That involves quitting harmful substances or addictive substances. Drawing your boundary is the first step for where you need to be or where you need to go. That's what came up when we asked, what is luck for you? You can have all the amulets and all the things around you, but luck is something that happens when you're ready for it. Luck involves preparation. Luck is something you attract. It's been talked about in different cultures, but ultimately luck is about being ready for Lady Luck. You have to make the space for her. You have to make your life a thing where luck wants to come and hang out. That's when you get lucky. You don't chase after it. The more you chase after luck, the harder it is to get. But when you make your life, you go in deep into your life and you figure out what it is you need, and you do those things to make yourself a more complete, healthier version of yourself, then luck comes into your life. Knight of Swords. Write. Another thing is for you to write. Write down your worries. Write down your anxiety. Write down what you didn't get to have. Write down a letter to the person or people who didn't give you what you needed back then. Write down a letter to the harmful substances that you're about to let go of, or the harmful practices. Write down a letter to the parents or parental figures who gave you a lot, but at the end of the day, left you feeling empty, maybe, and alone in some ways. You need to write. Just use a pen and paper, ideally. There's something that happens when you write by hand that doesn't happen when you type. So I highly suggest, especially if you're doing writing for therapy or writing journals and stuff like that, to write with your hands on paper. Try it. Luck is about being ready for luck. And that takes work. So, the sooner you start, the sooner you start getting lucky. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope you find all the good luck that you can in this world. And I hope you are ready for it and you make yourself ready for it. As always, thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a sweet infinity.